The critics woke up a Thursday morning thinking they finally caught her slipping. They were locked and loaded with their favorite talking points. The plan was to harp on that tough loss to Linda Noskova at Indian Wells, a 62-60 beatdown that looked like rock bottom for Alex Eala. They were itching to claim she finally folded once the pressure reached a breaking point. They were ready to call her ranking a fluke and argue she had no business playing with the big dogs. They had their receipts pulled up. They had a whole hit piece ready to go, hoping to bury this girl's career before she even touched down in Miami. But then the week actually started. By Wednesday, while every Filipino family chat was buzzing with photos and the Miami Heat's social media was blowing up, the world saw her owning the red carpet at the Broken Rackets Gala, and suddenly the haters had nothing. Absolutely zero. You cannot exactly talk trash about a girl who just became the guest of honor at David Grutman's elite Miami Open kickoff bash. This was the event everyone calls the tennis world's Met Gala, where she stood shoulder to shoulder with stars like Aryna Sabalenka, Matteo Berrettini, Taylor Fritz, Frances Tiafoe, and Caroline Wozniacki. Good luck calling her irrelevant when the most legendary Filipino-American coach in basketball history is on the timeline calling her a total force of nature. You cannot overlook her when the entire city of Miami, from the culture to the courts themselves, has basically adopted her. It was incredible. I had to stay for the late match just to soak it in. I wanted to catch that vibe from the stands because the hype is all anyone is talking about. The party left the haters behind a long time ago. Stick around because this video breaks down every single detail the doubters missed out on. Let's paint the picture, because without the right context, you are missing the heart of the story. It is mid-March 2026. The 2026 Miami Open is about to kick off at Hard Rock Stadium. It is the crown jewel of the tour, defined by South Beach-style high-end dining and pure celebrity wattage. This is not just about sports. It is 2 weeks of high-stakes drama and Florida heat in one of the most vibrant spots on the map. It is the place to be for every pro on the planet. Every A-lister wants a front-row seat, and every major sponsor is fighting to get their logo in the shot. That is the stage for Alexandra Eala, world number 29 and the 31st seed. Just a year ago, she showed up here as a wild card ranked 140th. Within 72 hours of landing, she had already conquered the Tennis Met Gala, visited the Heat's home court, and got a public endorsement from a Hall of Fame-level coach. Name another 20-year-old athlete who has ever had a week that legendary. You cannot, because it has never happened before. Let's look at Monday, March 16th at Kaseya Center, home of the Miami Heat. Alex stopped by the arena to catch up with Erik Spoelstra, the mastermind who led the Heat to those legendary back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013 with LeBron James. We are talking 3 championship rings and the most decorated resume in the history of the franchise. That Monday, Spoelstra just happened to bag his 700th career win against the Charlotte Hornets, yet he still made Alex his priority. This was not some quick hello in the hallway either. Oh, for real, say no more. The Heat did not just let it happen. They documented the whole thing. They dropped a high-production video on their socials with a caption that sent the Filipino internet into a total frenzy. Just 2 powerhouses repping the Philippines at the highest level, the post said. That word powerhouses is doing a lot of heavy lifting. They did not say prospects or proud Pinoys, they said powerhouses. Keep in mind, the Heat are a global brand. Their media team knows exactly how to craft a message and what kind of weight those words carry. They put a championship-winning coach and a 20-year-old kid without a major title on the same level. And they did it because it is the stone-cold truth. Spoelstra was the pioneer for Asian-American coaches in the league, and Eala is the trailblazer for Filipino women, breaking the top 30, hitting the Final Four of a WTA 1000 and taking down giants. She is always the first. 2 icons, both pathfinders, sharing the court. The Heat basically told the world, these 2 are our royalty. Imagine what that feels like for a 17-year-old girl in Quezon City right now. She is scrolling through her phone with her tennis gear nearby, realizing that her biggest dreams might actually be within reach. It is huge to see this most successful Filipino-American coach standing side by side with the greatest tennis talent the Philippines has ever produced. Having the biggest team in Miami validate them both as powerhouses is a massive statement. This link-up actually started back in 2023 when a 17-year-old Eala, then ranked outside the top 150, went to her first Heat game. She got some flicks with Spoelstra and Bam Adebayo on a night that coincidentally marked another milestone for the coach. Back then, she was just a kid in the stands watching a legend work. Fast forward 3 years, and she is back in that same building as a top 30 pro, and the Heat are making tribute videos for her. Jumping from 150 to 29 in 3 years is insane. She went from being a fan in the crowd to being the face of the marketing campaign. That is not just a career path, it is a total evolution. The critics who called her a one-hit wonder for 12 months are running out of excuses for this kind of consistent high-level growth. But Monday was just the appetizer. Wait until you hear what came next. When the most exclusive party in tennis opened its doors for the Miami Open kickoff, the story went from great to absolutely electric. Meet David Grutman. You really should know his name. He's the king of Miami hospitality, owning the spots that make South Beach famous. His parties don't just happen, they're the city's heartbeat. People don't just show up to his events, they're lucky to get an invite. Entry into David Grutman's world isn't for sale. You have to be hand-picked to step inside his circle. This year's guest list for the Miami Open Bash featured an incredible lineup of tennis stars, the likes of which South Florida has never seen. Top-ranked defending champ Aryna Sabalenka attended with her fiancé Georgios Frangoulis. Grigor Dimitrov and Taylor Fritz were also in the building. Francis Tiafoe made an appearance alongside Matteo Berrettini. Paige Lorenzo-Evelis and Marta Kostyuk were also among the attendees. Even former #1 and Grand Slam icon Caroline Wozniacki, a true legend of the game, was there. This was the place to be surrounded by the elite of pro tennis in South Beach. Right there, Alex Eala stood tall in a stylish top and denim fitting right in with the legends and biggest stars in the game. Highlights from the night were posted by Broken Rackets on Instagram, where they officially dubbed it the Met Gala of the tennis world. A classic Miami night curated by the incomparable David Grutman. The Met Gala of tennis, that is the level of prestige and exclusivity we are talking about here. We all know the Met Gala is the ultimate stage for global fashion and massive cultural significance. Now the top authorities on tennis culture is using that same comparison for the party Alex Eala attended this week. Let's look at the incredible irony here, because just 12 months ago, things were totally different. Exactly 1 year ago, Alex was a mere wild card at number 140. No seed, no first-round pass, and absolutely nothing was guaranteed for her. She walked into the 2025 tournament as a brand new story that nobody had written yet. All those elites at the party this week, the same players and industry leaders who celebrated at the gala. They dismissed her ranking back then, sticking her on side courts at midnight and expecting her to lose early. Fast forward 1 year, and she is right in their mix, sharing their space, their photos, and their world. She didn't sneak in. She's a legitimate top 30 seed who has beaten 5 top 10 players recently. Now, fans search for her name first when the draw drops. She's a true VIP at the Met Gala of tennis. Now let's focus on the court. The stakes are massive, and fancy parties don't change the cold, hard reality of the world rankings. She has 390 points to defend from her deep semi-final run last season during this 2-week stretch. Her play here determines if she stays in the top 30 or drops back into the crowded pack behind her. She's a more evolved version of the aggressive player who stormed through the tournament a year ago. Her serve is now more precise and varied, which helps her earn many more easy points. She is hanging in rallies longer and has become much more tactical with her shot selection. On every level, her game has clearly and significantly leveled up. But staying on top is brutal, because now everyone has scouted her lefty serve and backhand. That element of surprise from 2025 has completely evaporated. Now she brings experience and real growth. She opens against 38-year-old veteran Laura Siegemund, who has struggled to get past the early rounds of 5 straight tournaments this season. That match is the gateway. Win it, and the massive showdown everyone is waiting for finally happens. A round of 32 clash with Iga Swiatek, the same superstar she dominated 6-2-7-5 on these grounds a year ago. Eala stormed through the 2025 bracket with an aggressive mindset, beating Ostapenko and Keys before losing to Pegula in the semis. Now the bracket is set for a grudge match at the very place where Swiatek suffered her most embarrassing recent loss. Do you honestly think she has forgotten? She has surely spent countless hours training specifically to counter that lefty forehand and aggressive pressure that overwhelmed her last time. Without a doubt, she is ready. If they meet again, it is going to be a totally different ballgame. Expect a high-level tactical war between two elite pros who have completely figured each other out. Yet, there is one factor that no amount of film study or practice can ever account for. When the Hard Rock Stadium lights go on and 60,000 Filipino fans start roaring. When the flags wave and the chants begin, Alex Eala will feel that energy like a second heartbeat in her chest. Swiatek is going to feel that pressure too, but in a very, very different way. Finally, let's give the skeptics one last goodbye, because they have certainly earned it. Those people claimed her 2025 run was just luck, or that the bracket was too easy. They argued her opponents just had a bad day at the office. They dismissed her fans as a fad and predicted Alex would fall off the map within months. They were dead wrong. When she stunned the world number 7 in Dubai, the critics just chalked it up to a lucky tiebreak win. After she toppled Coco Gauff at Indian Wells, people claimed her opponent was injured even as she climbed to 29 in the world. Everyone insisted her ranking was nothing but a fluke. But this week, while the skeptics were busy drafting their latest takedown pieces, she was hanging out with Erik Spoelstra at the Kaseya Center. There she was, owning the red carpet at the sport's most prestigious gala. Cameras caught her alongside Aryna Sabalenka and Wozniacki at the most elite gathering on the Miami Open calendar. The Miami Heat summed it up perfectly: two absolute titans representing the Philippines on the world stage. We are talking about legends here, not just some viral sensations or lucky wildcard entries. Total powerhouses. The sheer suffocating jealousy from the doubters is obvious now that she's achieved everything they claimed she never deserved. That bitterness is a tough pill for them to swallow because nobody gets onto David Grutman's guest list by mistake. You don't get a tribute from the Heat or earn a first-round bye as a top seed in a 1,000-level event by accident. A 3-time NBA champion coach doesn't just call you a powerhouse for no reason. You earn that level of respect by being the greatest tennis player the Philippines has ever seen, just like Alex Eala. She entered Miami as a relative mystery and left as a global superstar. This is the star who triggered a 48% ticket surge in Dubai and packed desert stadiums at midnight, forcing the tour to change its entire framework. Even James Blake had to admit on national television that he completely underestimated her talent. By 2026, ESPN noted she wasn't just on a hot streak. She was proving she's the real deal. The celebration is already underway. She has already graced the red carpet and her photos are all over the media. The skeptics are left out in the cold for doubting someone who always knew exactly where she was headed. Between her top 29 ranking the gala appearances and an NBA endorsement, she is set to face Iga Swiatek before the second week begins. 2026 in Miami belongs to her. It is her time to shine. Keep going, Alex. The entire world already sees that you truly belong at the top. If you are following every Alex Eala match in Miami this year, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The bracket is set, the critics are silent, and this journey is reaching heights no one imagined except her.